What's up everyone, this is Mike from Whiskey Morgue, and today we are reviewing In Search of Darkness 1995 to 1999.
What are you waiting for?
It is time to get seriously scared.
At nearly 6.5 hours long, this is a monster of a documentary, except it feels far less like a film and more like the best horror panel you've ever sat through. It doesn't just peel back the skin on our favorite 90s horror, but rather plunges its fist elbow deep into the body of work. What I appreciate the most is this is way more than just a list of films. It's a look at the history, social anxiety that pulled me right back into what it felt like to watch these films for the first time and growing up during this era. There's also this thematic thread that runs through the doc, looking at the emergence of the internet, the rapid change in technology, and of course, the looming fear of Y2K.
The folks here are ready for the big moment when we turn the millennium over to 2000.
One of my favorite inclusions in the documentary has to be Strangeland. Chef's kiss. I mean, I also grew up in AOL chat rooms and on MSN Messenger, somehow trusting that ASL was like a proof of identity. And fittingly, the first time that I watched Strangeland was while being tattooed.
You gotta love this technology.
When talking about horror from this era, Scream has to be at the top of the list. Cell phones were more widely used, and suddenly, the call wasn't just coming from inside the house, but it could be coming from anywhere. And that cell phone, the AT&T 3850, that itself could have been a deadly weapon. I always knew that Wes Craven and Kevin Williamson had reinvented the slasher and created a whole new blueprint for the genre with meta horror, but what I didn't realize was how many films that followed were completely screamified. And it begins to make a lot of sense while watching the doc because Kevin Williamson directly was involved in most of them. Our guy was cashing checks.
You never told me your name.
Why do you want to know my name?
I want to know who I'm looking at.
Another aspect that the documentary absolutely nailed was the importance of the soundtrack. Not just to the films, but the entire culture around it.
Soundtracks, of course, are so important to the films themselves, but the 90s was perhaps the peak of the integration with a pop culture soundtrack, bands that you know, with the film.
And there's probably no one I trust more talking about soundtracks than my karaoke partner and friend, Andrea Subasati.
Just close my eyes and I'm taken to a place where crystal mind and the gentle feelings take a shelter in the face of my spine, feel like a chicken cherry cola.
Movies like The Craft, The Crow, Strangeland, The Faculty, all bangers. These weren't just soundtracks, they were like finely curated mixtapes. And for a lot of us weird kids, they lived in our Discman and became the soundtracks to our lives. But once again, technology is proven evil, but this time, in real life, Napster and media sharing not only changed the music landscape, but began to slowly kill off the finely curated soundtrack. Honestly, the whole time I was watching this, I was absolutely gushing over the movies they decided to highlight in this documentary. We've got franchise entries that don't get nearly enough attention, like Texas Chainsaw, The Next Generation. There's cult films like Castle Freak and Tales from the Hood, and they even dive into J-horror and one of my favorite films, Audition. From horror royalty to the writers, editors, academics, the people who keep this culture alive, there is a genuine passion in every single interview in this doc. And movie nerds, if you think you know stuff, you want to know even more. There's a ton of information in this, a lot of cool anecdotes, definitely probably the best 6.5 hours spent. So that's it for this video. Remember to like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments what's your favorite horror movie from 95 to 99. Till next time, stay spooky.